Good morning. Good morning, friends. I hope you're all having a fantastic morning. I am headed out to do my blood work today and stop. I've got a couple errands. I think I've got enough cucumbers now to make some pickles. So I need to get a few ingredients for that. I think that's about it. Stop, make a car dealership stop and pick up my mother-in-law's mail and take it in her house. And yeah, then when I get back home, I'm going to make some fried zucchini. I'm not fried zucchini, some stuffed zucchini and some meatloaf. So I might bring you along for me with that. So that being said, that is the White Mountains there in front of me. We're a little bit less smoky today, but I'm hitting the highway, so I'll see y'all in a little bit. All right, friends, I kind of put my phone at a funny angle. So it's about the only way I think I can prop it up, but I just left getting my blood work done, and that is for my oncologist. I just finished my third cycle of my oral chemo. Yeah, so I do the 21 days on, 7 days off, and then about within the first 2 to 3 days after I finish my oral chemo, they like me to do my blood work because that's when my blood counts are their lowest. And so if they need to make any adjustments or cancel around or what have you, that's why when those decisions are made. So I'm gonna go now to my mother-in-law's, check her mail, put it in her house. Then, as I said, I had a dealership paper to drop off, so I'm gonna go do that. Then I'm gonna go to Smart and Final and see if I can find everything I need for making my pickles. I've got some okra that I think I might fry because it's on the bigger side. And then I have a huge zucchini that needs to be stuffed. So I'll check in with you in a minute. All right, friends. I think I might have found a angle that I'm not going to drop yet. I do need to get something better set up so that I can kind of just have a mount up on my dashboard, but I've got kind of a bump there, so not quite sure how that would work. So yeah, I just got my mother-in-law's mail checked and brought in, and just watered one of her little plants that gets a little hot, gets a little droopy. So now I'm going to go to Ford and drop that paper off. I think then I might swing by Taco Bell and get a burrito because I did not eat any breakfast. They always ask me if I've been fasting, but it's really not fasting blood work because it's just a CBC and a differential. So I don't know, but I just make my appointments early. I thought I turned on the wrong street. I'm like, this doesn't look familiar. I did turn too soon. So yeah, so I'm going to go drop that paper off, maybe just go get a bean and cheese burrito for breakfast at Taco Bell, and then I'll hit Smart and Final. And you know what happened to me? It never fails. As soon as you get to the hospital, they check you, you have a fever, do you have any COVID symptoms? Then you get in there and you get that dry tickle in your throat and you got a cough. Well, nowadays, you can't cough or sneeze or clear your throat. And clearly, as you can hear, I have a very crunchy, dry throat today. And I pretty much always do. I don't know if a lot of that is just because of where we live, our climate, our atmosphere. I don't know. Yeah, I don't really like this camera angle, but it's really the best I can do right now. Something that isn't going to fall off of my dash. I did order a new tripod, which is going to be fun when I'm vlogging because I can set my camera down. The one I have now is just handheld. And I wanted to ask you guys too, because I'm kind of playing around with my channel. I did planning videos for a long time, and I love the planner community, and I still will do them. honestly, they don't get a whole lot of views. And then when I got to feeling better, I started doing crafting videos again, and I think I got a little more views and I got a few more subscribers. But I also really, one of the reasons I started my channel was to do more lifestyle vlogging type content. Like, we haven't been out camping as much this year, obviously, because I was sick, and then now the forests are closed because of the fires, and then we sold our big camper, so we're researching new campers, smaller campers that our Tacoma can pull. And boy, let me tell you, that's hard when you go from a big 28-foot humongous with a huge slide that we're pulling with a 1-ton truck to something that a Tacoma can pull. It's hard to find something you like. But anyway, I do love to do that kind of content. I like to vlog when we're camping and fishing and all that kind of stuff, and vlog camper stuff. This car's coming in kind of hot and fast in that little Subaru. Go get him, Tiger. So my question to you guys is, if you could let me know in the comment section below, what kind of content do you enjoy seeing? Like today, I think I might just hang out with you guys in my kitchen when I get home and do some cooking, because I mentioned I had to do that. But if you could let me know, what kind of content do you like? Do you enjoy my crafting videos? I haven't done a lot of original crafting. It's mostly just been kind of doing some challenges, but I do have a journal I need to work on and finish, so I could film that. If you have missed my planning videos, I could do some planning videos for you. Tried to do some garden videos, but I don't know, I guess just my setup, didn't feel to me like it was working out too well. But I do kind of like these day in the life vlog, run errands with me kind of a thing. So if you don't mind, I would really appreciate it if you would let me know in the comment section below what kind of videos you want. We are coming up on winter. Put a new driveway in here and it always throws me. We are coming up on winter, so we're not obviously camping as much, and the fact that we don't have a camper we can pull right now makes a difference. But we are going to be doing lots of outings, which is going to be fun in the Tacoma. So there's tons of things I can show you from that perspective. But I'm here at the dealership. I'm going to throw my mask on, run this paperwork inside, and get it dropped off, because it has to do with our canceling our extended warranty on the F-350. So I think we'll get some money back on that, which will be nice, because I don't know how all that works. But, anytime you can get a little bit of money back, that's not a bad thing. So I'm going to mask up. Pain in the rear, but I do mask, especially being on chemo. Whenever I go anywhere, I mask up. So I'll catch up with you in a little bit, friends. Okay, well, that was quick and easy. All I had to do was drop that paperwork off and see if maybe we'll get a little bit of money back to put in the seed fund toward a new camper. Now I think I'm going to go to Taco Bell, like I said, and get myself just a bean burrito. Those are pretty easy on the old stomach for breakfast. We've really kind of narrowed there were some Rockwood ultralights that we like, but they were the top end for the Tacoma to pull. We do like some of the Geo Pros, if you've seen those. They lack on kitchen storage and bathroom storage, some of the lighter weight models. I have a big pro and con list after we started with a tiered 57 Cardinal teardrop, which I wish we still had, just for like a little retro trailer would be fun. Then we had a tent trailer, then we had a 23-foot for years, and then we went to the bigger 28-foot. So I kind of do have like some deal breakers for me is I need some kitchen storage. It doesn't have to be over the top because even my big trailer doesn't have a ton of kitchen storage or a ton of bathroom storage, but I do want at least like some kitchen storage, some bathroom storage, a sink in the bathroom, which some of the smaller ones don't have. I'd like an oven or at least a convection microwave oven. So, because I cook a lot when we're camping. I love to cook, and I love to cook when we're camping. So, that's on my wish list as well. Now, we have been looking at some of the... sirens are coming down the road. Wonder what's happening. Have been looking at some of the Arpods, and they've come out with some newer, nicer Arpods that we're both really thinking, this just might be a happy medium because they've got some nice features. So,
how are we doing today?
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
I'd like a bean and cheese burrito with no onions but extra cheese, please.
Bean and cheese, no onion, extra cheese?
Yes.
Anything else?
Nope, that's it.
Any sauce?
No, thank you.
276 is your total, 14.
Thank you. Yeah, so anyway, those are kind of they're remodeling our favorite Chinese restaurant. I'm hoping it's going to open back up soon. It's been closed ever since COVID except for takeout, but now they're closed for remodeling. And we love their food and we love their Sunday brunch. Good morning. How are you today?
Doing well, thank you. How about yourself?
I'm doing good, thanks. Beautiful day today.
Yes, it is.
Let's see. How much did you say?
276, please.
2. All right. There's 3.
Thank you.
Breakfast.
Here we are now.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Here's your burrito. You have a nice day.
All right. You too. Thanks. Okay. So throw all this stuff over there, and then I think I'll just go park over at the city park. That's kind of a nice place to sit and eat. I actually did that yesterday when I picked up my grandkids, Harper and Gavin, from school because I came to town a little early. I had some grocery shopping to do, and I was hungry. I hadn't had lunch yet. Well, maybe I had breakfast. I think I had, what did I have, a piece of toast? Yeah, so it was getting to be about 1 o'clock, and I was kind of hungry, so I came to Taco Bell yesterday and got a taco. But yeah, I go sit at the park, and it's nice and quiet. Sometimes you can see the ducks or, things like that. But yeah, so anyway, if you happen to be a viewer or a new viewer that has like tows with a smaller tow vehicle, let me know what you found out. Sometimes I'll look at something and I'll look at the gross vehicle weight and I'll think we'll be okay on that size, but then my husband says, well, no, because by the time you add the tongue weight and all that stuff, it can get a little bit confusing. So, yeah, I guess we're looking at something 5,000 and under, but definitely under would be preferable. I think he'd like to come in dry at about at least 3,000 and possibly then go up a little from there. So I was going to see, there's some people parked over here, but it's okay. I can eat my burrito over here, right? Except I'm going to be in the sun. That's the only problem. I didn't plan that one very well. So anyway, I think I'll go ahead and turn the camera off. I got to put some hand sanitizer on. And then I'll go from here to Smart Final, see if I can get everything I need for this afternoon's adventures, because I got all my other errands run. So I'll catch up with you in a little bit. Bye. And you hear that? That's the funny little sound bite. my car. My car's a hybrid. It just cracks me up. It's the funnest little car I've ever owned. It's a 2021 Toyota RAV4 hybrid. So that means it runs on gas and electricity. Hold on, I just got done finishing my burrito. I'm gonna toss my trash and we're gonna head to Smart Final. A beautiful day. It's still a little smoky, but not bad. Yeah, my husband teases me. Not my little electric car. But I love it. I get combined about 40 miles. Most of my driving is highway because I live 15 miles out of town. So if I'm driving anywhere, it's usually to town and back. But they say if you're like just around town, like right now I'm just on battery. But once I have to get up to highway speed, you know, it goes back and forth between the battery and the engine. So it's actually pretty cool how it does that. But yeah, combined 40. I think we did take it to Ridgecrest, which is about 2.5 hours away. That's the longest trip we've taken in it so far. We wanted to go to Joann's and Walmart for a few things. And I think we got a combined, well, I changed the camera angle on you, just trying out different things till I can come up with my best vlogging while I'm driving situation. But you don't have to look at my ugly mug this way. Yeah, I think we got 42 averaged on that trip. I'm not sure, 41 or 42. So that was pretty good. So I'm gonna be turning. I think Smart & Final might be more likely to have pickling stuff than, they'll have everything else I need. I need to get some dill. Whoops, see, having to try things out, and I had you propped up here on my little iPad car thing. There we go. Till I can get a mount, we're gonna just be doing the best we can do. I'm just taking you around Bishop with me today. If you've never been, this is Bishop, California. We are in the eastern high Sierras, the eastern side of the Sierras. We are 60 miles south of Mammoth Mountain, about 60 miles north of Lone Pine, if you're familiar with Mount Whitney. About a 3.5, probably 4-hour drive to Reno north. About a 3.5-ish hour drive south to like the Lancaster area. Then it takes us a little bit longer to get down into, say, Los Angeles, San Diego. That's more of a 6-hour drive. So we're kind of in the middle of nowhere, but it's a beautiful place. It's, oh, you know, I did want to get gas. I think I'll do that when I leave Smart & Final, because I've been trying ever since I got my little car to top it off every time I get to half a tank. And so I'm right at about half a tank. So I've had this car, I'm coming up on 2 months because I'm just about ready to make my second car payment. And I've only put gas in it twice, and I've topped it off both times. Oh no, we did. I think when we went to Ridgecrest, we had to put a little more because we drove a little bit. But anyway, I might have got sidetracked on what I was saying, but I'm just pulling into the parking lot here at Smart & Final. I don't really like to park my car near other cars. It's too carly, you know, just like being too people-y and too doggily. But I'll park over here kind of, and I won't be long. But yeah, oh, I know what I was saying. I might have to go out to Ace Hardware or High Country Lumber Hardware to get the pickling spice if I can't find it here. So without trying to make you dizzy, I'm gonna go ahead and turn the camera off, go in the store, see what I can find, and I'll catch up with you in a minute. All right, well, it's turning into a wild goose chase. I went to Smart & Final. They had no big jugs of white vinegar, a couple of smaller ones, but no big jugs. I have about a half a jug, so I'm not too stressed about it. If I even only get, I think I've got enough to get a couple jars canned today, and that may be all I have enough pickles for anyway from my garden. And pickling spice is a 0 so far. Right now, so I had gone to Smart & Final. I did get some dill, some fresh dill, and some dried dill, because I go through a lot of dill. We use a lot of dill. Anyway, and I needed some. And I got some buttermilk in case I deep fried the okra, but I forgot the panko, which was on my list. But I'm kind of getting over the whole running around scenario. So I think at this point, I'm going to go out to Manor Market or True Value Hardware, see if they have either or white vinegar or pickling spice. If they don't, I'll make one more stop, and that'll be once I get back home to Big Pine. I'll go to our local kind of, it's like almost like a hardware store. Sometimes when you can't even find anything here in Bishop, you can find it there at Holtz. So I don't know what keeps happening to my camera. Hold on. There we go. That's a little better. Not the best angle, but probably when I go home, I'm going to try to turn the camera around like I had it before and just kind of take you on the highway with me, so you can just kind of see some of where I live. And yeah, so apparently I need to think ahead. Well, I wasn't getting cucumbers. And what started this whole thing was one of our neighbors down the street, if you saw my video where Harper was giving away tomatoes and stuff from my garden. Hold on just a sec. Well, they were going by on their side-by-sides and their side-by-side. And I gave them some tomatoes and some basil from my garden. And then she brought me down a jar of homemade pickles. And my cucumbers hadn't been doing that well this year. My whole first round died off. I think they were flowering when it was too hot and they didn't set. So I didn't really even think about it. But I mean, her homemade pickles are so good. But I had since replanted maybe a month, 6 weeks ago, just kind of a whole new batch of cucumber seeds. And now that I think since it's cooled down, my cucumbers are really starting to pop. In fact, I found another one today. So that's why I'm like, even if I can just get 2 jars of pickles put up, I'm happy, because she brought me the one that was ready. And I've eaten almost all of those. Oops. And then she brought me another jar, but it has to sit for 2 months because it was just canned in September. So apparently they have to sit for 2 months. And those ones she doesn't do a hot bath on. She said she just puts her pickles and all her seasonings and everything into the jar and then pours the hot boiling liquid on. But she also does Chileno peppers, which are really popular here in our area. Canned Chilenos. I've done those before. I just didn't grow Chilenos this year, but she said she does have to water bath those. And I don't think I water bathed mine because I don't really know how to water bath, but the pickles seemed easy enough. But my plan this year was to grow enough cucumbers to make my own pickles. I wanted to get a bunch of tomato sauce and paste made up. I wanted to can my own green beans. I did well in the winter squash. I got lots of good winter squash, spaghetti squash, and Hubbard squash. But my cucumbers were a fail in the beginning, and somehow, out of all the tomatoes I planted, which trust me, started hundreds of tomatoes. Mostly I ended up with cherry tomatoes. Only one plant that has big slicers, and another one that has kind of medium slicers. So I told my husband next year I'm focusing on when I start my seeds in February, because that's usually when I start my stuff for my summer garden, I'm going to do mostly some paste tomatoes, some big slicers, only a couple of cherry, so that I don't end up with all cherry tomatoes like I did this year, which are great for snacking, but they're not great for cooking. And I'm going to have to figure out some way to get better cucumber production, so that next year my intention is to grow enough cucumbers to put up for winter. Okra, I tried growing okra, but something ate it, so that didn't work. So I had some good successes in my summer garden this year, and some failures. So far, my cucumbers are doing good on their second round, which now it would be too late to put seeds in. I did put in some of my fall garden. I may have to replant my Swiss chard. I don't know if it just got stepped on or didn't get enough water, but I do have things like kohlrabi coming up. I think I have, what else did I put in? Arugula. I don't usually tend to put in lettuce. If I get lettuce, I'll just buy it, the 6-packs or whatever in the store. It just does better for me that way. But yeah, I have a handful of things. I did a video, if you want to go back and look, or if you're interested, I can link it, on what I planted for my fall garden. Granted, not everything's going to come up, but last year I had Swiss chard all winter long, so that's why I was really hoping my Swiss chard would do good, but it actually grows pretty fast, so I think maybe tomorrow I need to get in my garden, do a little assessing, some cleaning. This is a good week for me to do stuff like that, because I'm off my chemo for a week, and by the end of my third cycle of my chemo, which was last week, I tend to get pretty tired. And then, like this week, when I'm off of my chemo, I get a little bit of energy back. So what I think I'll do is kind of reassess and see what looks good for my fall garden. I don't know if I have to get more seeds for Swiss chard or if I have any left. But that'd probably be about the only thing I would replant. And maybe some lettuce if I can find some at the nursery. And then I usually put pansies in the fall, because they will survive here through the winter. They kind of get a little bit looking, but they come back real pretty in the spring. And everybody always asks me first thing in the spring, where did you get your beautiful pansies? And I always have to tell them, well, you have to put them in the fall, because that's the only way they're just going to blow up and really be pretty in the spring. So I'd like to do some pansies. So I think maybe this weekend we'll hit a couple of the local nurseries, see if I can get some lettuce, see if I can get some pansies. Those would be about the only thing that already, in cell packs that I would buy. But let's see, we're going to check out True Value, and we'll check out Manor Market. If they're anything like Vaughn's and Smart Final, I might just be out of luck. But I do have one more place to check, and like I said, that's down in Big Pine. I can check at Holt's and see if because that's where Brianna told me she got the pickling spices, was just at our local hardware store. So let me take a run in these two stores and see what we can find. Wish me luck, friends. Wish me luck. Finally. Well, eureka, friends. I found the pickling spice mix at at the hardware store. So I grabbed 2 containers of that, which I think will be more than enough. And then I went over to Manor Market, and they had a big jug of white vinegar. Granted, I probably paid a couple dollars more-ish than I would have paid at Smart Final. But at this point, I don't really care, because Smart Final didn't have any anyway. And then since I had forgotten my panko breadcrumbs, they didn't have panko, but they had just regular plain unseasoned breadcrumbs, and I think I have some panko at home still, so I can mix the two and season them how I want, because I'll probably do kind of a, I think on the if I get the fried okra done, it's not really going to matter. I just need to make something to fry. And so what I'm going to do is, I had made a video yesterday when I was driving home from from watching my grandkids. I picked them up at school, and then their dad got home from his camping trip, so I was really only there with them for just a few minutes, which always makes Harper mad because we don't have time to play when Dad gets home early like that. But I wanted to make a video and show you guys kind of just the countryside and stuff. Well, I started out real good, and then I didn't realize I had turned the camera off, and then I thought I turned it back on, but when I turned it on, when I thought it was on, it wasn't on. So when I went to turn it off, when I hit the highway, I actually turned it on. So when I was checking my video last night, I only recorded the few minutes of me talking to you, and then the rest of it was when I put the phone down on my seat, and it recorded that whole rest of my trip home. So I just deleted everything. So what I'm going to do, when I'm going down the street I would drive down to get to my daughter's, but I'm just going to go past it, and then I'm going to be taking sort of what I call the back way from their house to the highway, because it's so pretty right now, and it's all the alfalfa fields are, they're growing and cutting the alfalfa, and it's just really pretty. And I love to watch videos where I get to see scenery of places that either I've never been, may never get to, I don't know. Put my moonroof down before I hit the highway, or otherwise it's too noisy. But what I'm going to do up here is pull over, turn my camera around, and then just face it forward for you so you can see the rest of my drive home. That I'm just going to put to music, because I'm going to put my own music on for my travel fun. And of course we don't want any copyright issues, so let me just get pulled over here. I'm kind of right by this really pretty ranch, and it's got all this alfalfa and the water's going. So I want you guys to be able to see this as best as I can set you up to see it. So from this point on, it'll just be maybe fast forwarded a little bit. I'm not sure how I'll do that, but I'm going to get the camera turned around so that you can take my ride home with me, and I'll set you to some music. So thanks for shopping with me, and we'll probably meet back up this afternoon in the kitchen. So enjoy the ride and the scenery. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye. phone got hot where I had it sitting on my dashboard. Turned off on me for a few minutes, which was fine. I'm hoping you guys can see the view good from here. Like I said, it is a little smoky, but it's a gorgeous view. This is the road we turn off on. Look at those mountains. That's a Big Pine Glacier back up in there. The way up top, it's a little hard to see, but so that's the glacier. That's the Sierra Nevada mountains, our foothills. This is what I come home to every day. This is what I look at outside my window on my drive, and it's awesome. So I'm going to be coming around the corner here, getting almost to my street. I'll turn my phone off and get parked and get my stuff in the house. And my daughter's not home. Wonder where she is. Anyway, you guys, thanks for rocking with me this morning. I'm going to go get stuff settled and probably set back up in the kitchen. Right, you guys, welcome back. Thanks for coming back today. We've had a busy day today. We ran some errands, got some work done. When I got home, I pickled up 2 jars of pickles and a jar of okra. I'll insert that shot right here for you. Didn't film the process, but I did tell you, I gotta take my rings off. I did tell you I was gonna come back and make some meatloaf. I was going to stuff this bad boy today that a friend of mine gave me, but I'm gonna do it tomorrow. So let me put this aside. So I took out some extra ground beef, and what I'm gonna be making on my meatloaf today is gonna have, I'm just getting ready to saute some bell peppers and some onions, and then a little bit of garlic right at the end. And then in my meatloaf, I don't usually cook a lot of stuff by recipe, so most of the time it's just kind of, you know, wing it and go. But salt, pepper, I usually put an egg. I put a little bit of panko or breadcrumbs. Did I say ground mustard? I don't think I said that. Little Worcestershire. Didn't grab all that stuff ahead of time, but I thought we'd get the bell pepper and onion going. Get those sauteing up first. Always picky about the utensil I use. Seems like an awful lot of bell pepper and onion. If I think it's too much, once it cooks down, I'll put some aside and I can use it for something else. And I'm having to film. I just film on my phone, and when I'm doing my overhead shots, I film with the, you know, the better cameras on the back of the phone. But if I did that right now, I wouldn't be able to see, if you could see what I was doing. So I don't really think I have the ability to zoom in or, you know, do some different things like that. But I'll see what I can do in the editing if that helps. But just thought I'd bring you along on the meatloaf making today in this vlog, and probably end this vlog for today. So I'm gonna grab my mustard and my Worcestershire, an egg, and my breadcrumbs. So I'll be right back. So here's my stone ground mustard, some Worcestershire, an egg. Just gonna set that here so I don't drop it and break it, and some breadcrumbs. Wasn't sure if I have some panko, I think, up there left, but wasn't sure if I needed some breadcrumbs or stuffing for my stuffed zucchini tomorrow. So I'm not sure quite how we're gonna do that, but so turn it up a little. All right, guys, so while my bell peppers and onions are sauteing, you might be able to hear them sizzling over there. I did change my camera angle to what I thought would be better for you guys, to show you how I mix my meatloaf and how I do my garlic. So what I do with my garlic is I just cut the little root end off, I call it. and peel it. I don't know why bell pepper and onions has to smell so good. Or like bell pepper, onion, and carrots. Just always smells so good. Turn it down just a little. So once you just get the skin peeled back, which takes just a couple seconds. So I hope you're all having a good afternoon. And that you're well wherever you are. I still have, as soon as I get my meatloaf done, I got to go out. I noticed some of my cucumbers have like a lot of ants on them, so I'm going to go out and hose those off, see if I can't combat that little ant problem that I have going on. And then I think I want to get this, dump that in the sink, this video edited and uploaded. I haven't uploaded for a few days because I mentioned earlier that last one just never would upload on me. So all right, so let me give this a stir. And I just cook them so they're translucent, you know, the onions. I don't want to cook them all the way through, but I also want them mostly cooked when they go into the meatloaf. So if you do it ahead of time, you let them cool down for just a little bit, that usually works out pretty good. So what I do for my garlic is I just take a why can't I think of what it's called? I want to call it a planer. There are planers, but this isn't a planer. This is the heck is this thing called? Can't remember it. I'll put it in the video. Shredder. Actually shred my garlic. Okay, that's what I do. The old brain is not wanting to think of words today. So if you just take, and there's just a little bit of skin left there, it saves you a lot of time that you're not chopping up and mincing garlic, and you get the same result in the end. Except it does get slippery. Okay, so the garlic is done. Put that in the hot water. I always have a sink of hot water near me when I'm cooking. All right, let's set that aside. And now I want to get our meat and our, so I have ground chicken or ground turkey? Yeah, ground turkey. I couldn't remember which one I got at the store. So about a pound of ground beef. And a pound of ground turkey. Sometimes I'll make my meatloaf about 3 pounds total, which my loaf pan, I wanted to show that to you guys too, can accommodate that. But I just didn't want to make one that big today. So, and all I'm doing is giving it just a little smush together. You don't want to over mix your meat too much, but if you just gently get in there. Now I'm going to give my hands a wash, put in some of my other ingredients. All right, put my egg over here, grab a paper towel, clean hands, clean hands. Okay, and as I said, I don't usually cook by recipe, so it's usually just a little of this, and then I gotta show you the cool pan that my mother-in-law gave to us. So some Worcestershire, some ground mustard, crack my egg in here. Make sure we don't have a bad egg, because if you do, it's going to ruin your whole dish. Just a tiny bit of shell. That goes in the sink. Throw in our egg in the sink. Just a skosh pinch-ish or two of kind of fine ground beef, and ground turkey need a fair amount of, sorry, I was out of frame there, of salt. So that's some fresh ground pepper. And right before I'm ready to take the onions and the bell pepper off, I will put the garlic in. So far I'm still sauteing it, the peppers and my onion. Got my garlic setting off to the side. I need to put in some panko. And let me think if I'm missing anything else. I don't think so, because like I said, I don't really cook by recipe, so I just do maybe a couple handfuls just to make sure it's got a good binding to it with the egg. That should be plenty. Set that aside. I'm drinking my Gatorade today. It's so good. I love orange Gatorade, and I'm just so thirsty all the time. I think it's the medication that I have to take. Oh, and I wanted to show you before I get back into mixing this. This is the meatloaf pan my mother-in-law gave to us. And then she ended up giving Molly another one because she said it just makes too much for just her. Because she had two of them. Isn't that the neatest thing ever? So I just come in. I've even made bread in this before. Where I took this out and then just used this pan because it's basically, I need to put this on my list because I'm almost out. It's almost the size of a bread pan. So yeah, it worked perfect for bread. All right, let's go ahead. I'm trying to think if I want to add anything else. Let's add, because I add it to almost everything, just a little bit of granulated garlic. It's kind of a go-to for me. I don't put a ton, but I just find that enough gives it some flavor. Stir my bell peppers again. So I was trying to think of what, it's been a long time since I've thought about this, but I know, trying to think of the difference between the Trinity and the Mirepoix. So isn't Mirepoix, yes, celery, carrots, and onions, and the Trinity is bell peppers, onions, and carrots, I think. I know that's a little bit more Cajun, but yeah, the Mirepoix is the onions, celery, and carrots. That's what I was thinking earlier. Okay, so I don't think I need to take my watch off. I think I'm good there. Clean hands again, a cook's best friend. Just get in there, moosh it around. If you're squeamish about raw meat, get somebody else in the family to do it for you. But doesn't bother me any. And then the last thing I will add to this, and I'll bring you back and show you when I do that, is the cooled off bell peppers and onion. We'll put it in the pan. You could put some ketchup in with this. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. Sometimes I'll wait and put some ketchup on top the last few minutes that it cooks, you know, maybe not the whole time. I've done it before with bacon. It just depends. So anyway, that's about all the mixing you need to do. I'm going to go ahead and set this aside, and I'll come back when I'm ready to add in the bell peppers and onion. Oh, I do want to show you. Let me wash my hands, and I'm going to show you one last thing. Ooh, my water gets hot. Good hot water. Good hot water I have. Okay, so remember when we shredded up our garlic? So now that I'm about ready to turn my bell peppers and onions off, I'm going to put this on, stir it around just until you can start to barely smell the garlic. That's what they call a bloom. So once the garlic starts to bloom, that's when you want to take it off, because it will burn very easily. And you don't want to burn your garlic, just till you start to get that hint of the garlic aroma and you're good to go. So I think that's probably good enough. I'm on a low setting on one of my lower burners. So when it's time to put this back together and put it in the pan, I'll come back. All right, friends, I am back. I've let my bell pepper cool. I've cleaned up my dishes in my kitchen, wiped my counter off. Now we're gonna go ahead and add in our bell pepper and onion. So I've only got one more dish to wash. So if you wash, I don't think that's gonna be too much. I think that's gonna be just fine, because it all goes so good in there. So yeah, do your dishes as you go. Particularly if you have a small kitchen, but even in a big kitchen, I find doing my dishes as I go always so much easier. So I didn't put my rings back on yet because I knew I was gonna be digging in this. Give it a little mix. We're gonna plop it in our pan, and I'm just gonna cover it with foil and probably just run it out to my outside fridge. My inside fridge is kind of full right now, and need to do a little organizing. Plus I've got some of those extra pickles in there and the okra from today. So I'll cover it in foil, run it out to the fridge until I'm ready to bake it. And then I'll bake this probably partially covered, 350 for about probably 45 minutes, just covered loosely with foil. And then I'll take the foil off, and that's when I'll cook it another few minutes, 10, 15 minutes, and then throw on some ketchup maybe, just so it doesn't burn. I don't want it to be on there so long that it burns. And of course I could have put it in the meatloaf, I just didn't. But anyway, so that's all there is to it. Get this over here. I might have had my head in the frame, but dropped an onion on the floor. Good thing the next couple days is house cleaning day. Because let me tell you, it needs it. My floors need a good mop again. Yeah, see, so this is with 1 pound of ground beef and 1 pound of ground turkey. Like I said, I've done it with 3 pounds before, but I think this is more than enough. So I really had to pack it in with the 3 pounds. So this is going to be just perfect. It'll shrink down a little bit, but good for dinner. I'm going to serve it with some mashed potatoes and probably make a little homemade gravy and maybe some green beans. We'll just kind of see if that sounds good with it or not. Let me put my bowl to the side and wash my hands. Again, always washing my hands. Always, always. Whether I'm cleaning something or cooking something. Seems like I'm always washing my hands. And then I like to come back in just because I think it looks pretty. I like the presentation. And I just like to come in on the top and lightly sprinkle just a little bit of kosher. I always use kosher salt in all my cooking. So just a little bit of kosher salt. Another little bit of fresh ground black pepper, and there we have it. We will cover this up with a little bit of foil. Like I said, I'll run this to my outside fridge. Probably throw it in the oven. 3 o'clock now. Probably throw it in the oven about 4-ish, so it'll just sit in the fridge till I get ready to pop it in the oven. So, all right, you guys, thanks for hanging with me today. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye.